Hello Scrafters. World of Sleepers then is going to be the map for this match between Firesrest, which is Chayton, the Terran player in the top right, and Seli, that is Ellis in the bottom left. Chayton off to a pretty standard start with the depot coming down at the top of the ramp. Seli similar. Weirdly, I say it's a standard start. That's the first worker that he started building. We're already almost 30 seconds in, and that's just wrong. That's not right at all. Also, this, not really sure about that. Anyway, the racks does come down, and who knows, maybe everything is perfectly normal. Seli's build looking much more standard, workers being built throughout, the depot coming down, the racks and the refinery reasonably simultaneous. Okay, it's not every day you see that, is it? It's not every day you see somebody go with an eBay this early, and there's a reason you don't see it every day. It's because it's not any good. So if we have a quick look at the income tab, you can see that there's a substantial advantage there for Seli, and that does literally just come down to the fact that for the first 30 seconds Firesrest wasn't building workers and Seli was. These things like sort of, you might be thinking like, what's 30 seconds between friends, but in StarCraft it just, especially in the very start of the game, it just makes such a big difference. It is a game of increments. Those tiny fractions, at a really high level, tiny fractions of just a couple of seconds can make quite a big difference. But even at the level that we're playing at, having 30 seconds at the start of the game where you're not building workers is tragic. So Chayton does get the Reaper out, and if we look at the army supply, you can see that his opponent actually has nothing at present. I'm curious about this worker that's headed up around the top here. I don't know what that is planning to do. Is it up to no good? It's certainly... maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's going to proxy something up at the top of the map there. The Reaper is sort of sent across the map to this sort of third location, or maybe fourth location, depending on what way you build it, and he's going to get into the men to be able to have a look around. 2.5 minutes is pretty early. I don't mind sending a Reaper in this early. I quite like it. It just means if your opponent's proxying, doing anything sneaky like that, you're going to find out. And since there's no army here whatsoever, there's every chance this Reaper could even get a couple of SCV kills. One SCV already dead, and it looks like it could even get 2 more here. Should you find yourself, he has to be careful here. He's got to focus on the weakened worker if he wants to get another kill. There we go, 3 kills, brilliant. And he's going to get this one as well. He's going to sacrifice it for the last kill. In the end, does. So 4 workers dead though is pretty pleasing. I would swap a Reaper for 4 workers dead, no problem. So there you go. The worker supply has drastically about faced, and now that it's actually Chayton with the substantial mineral advantage. So what do I know? I don't know about this. This is part of the problem. That's probably why there's quite a pronounced difference there. Seli did pull all of the workers. If you are kind of a Terran or any race and you're trying to defend against that early Reaper harass, in general what you want to do as the Reaper comes in, you want to grab some workers, not all of them, some workers, and have them chase that Reaper down. If the worker at the front starts taking damage, you pull it back and you right click the minerals over here. If most of your workers start to take damage, then you grab these ones from over here and you A-click those, and the original set you pull back to mining, so that you're always kind of keeping that Reaper at bay, because if the workers do get surrounded on the Reaper dies. So tech wise, you can see we've got this starport coming down for Seli. We have got a tech lab on the factory, and that's going to enable siege tanks and that sort of thing. I don't think he has a tech lab on our racks, so while he does have this reactor and is getting out the Marines 2 at a time, there's no option for combat shield, no option for stim. So we're going for the old switcheroo. Okay, Meanwhile, over on the other side of the map, Firestarter has got a Banshee out and is researching Cloak. So this could be nasty. Seli has got the orbital command, hasn't quite got the orbital on the natural yet. So it'll sort of depend on the mule timings. If you're conscientiously dropping mules using your energy, like a good Terran should, that will mean he's got no detection here whatsoever. The scan goes done. And Chaitin will see that there is no detection here on this side of the map. There's no turrets and there's no eBay to build turrets. So these two Banshees could really have a good time. The two Banshees here, you know, it looks like he has stopped Banshee production, but he does have the 2 starports with Tech Labs. I'd quite like to see him continue with that. You know, you've invested into it, you're going to get quite a bit done with these two. I wouldn't mind seeing some further upgrades coming out of these, or indeed a transition into battle cruisers or something like that. Needs to be a bit sharpish about getting these fellas in. You know, don't hang about, they're not going to do anything here. If you are going for this Cloak Banshee harass, there's no need to cloak them yet. They do run out of energy, so, you know, send them in straight away. And get some damage done, and then once stuff turns up to actually try and kill them, that's when you cloak them. There's no point in cloaking them well in advance. So you can see how much work these are getting done already, because the pair of them, they're just one-shotting. Oh my goodness, no, these Marines can't even see them. There's no scan comes done. So actually this just could be devastating. Was that eBay there when I said there wasn't one? Maybe it was and I just missed it. Turns out there was an eBay. So Seli loses to just these two Banshees. I can't help but feel that was a bit of a premature GG. I mean, yeah, the Banshees have got a reasonable amount of work done, you know, but the worker difference is only 2 here. You've got a substantially larger army still. You're ahead in supply. You've got a mine in Expo. You've got your tech up and running. You know, all you needed was a Viking, and you can kill these. So yeah, that seemed a bit rash. I don't think there was any need to GG there. I certainly wouldn't have. I would have been like, I'll kill these Banshees and play on. Anyway, there we go. Chaitin takes the first game, and it is 1-0 GG.